stretch and then we'll go. Okay, welcome to our first hour Vision Tech projects. Yes, we are opening, yes. We are about to begin. We're going to start this morning with Brett.
And okay, so I did Photoshop, and the only time I've ever used Photoshop before this was when we did our, what were they called, the little tech pictures,
Tech IDs.
Tech IDs, and all I did was crop my head out on preview and just drop it in on Photoshop. It was really, really bad compared to what these are now. And my learning goal was just learn how to use it at a better level, have a better understanding of it. My end result, I'll show you guys what it ends up looking like. So this was my first project, and this was not very good. This one took me about a week and a half to 2 weeks almost, just because I had to learn how to match the colors and just even cut stuff out of pictures and stuff like that. Just really simple stuff, but I had to get a better understanding of it. And then this was my second one I did. It was just a picture of me pitching. This one took a while too, just because I didn't know how to change the background. Well, originally you have to change it to black and white, and then you have to change it to orange and match the colors, and that was a little more complicated. And then I added a little filter, and I'll show you guys how to do that when I show you some screen recordings of my last one. This is the last one I did. This one, I think this one's my best, just because it was kind of, everything kind of came together. And what I did is I just added a filter, dropped some pictures in, and made them up here. I'll show you guys. Okay, so this is what you had to do first. You just had to drop the picture in. That's what the original picture looked like. You had to zoom in and just use quick selection tool and just select everything you wanted to change. And then after you get everything selected, you go on the filter. You go to the filter gallery, and there are a lot of filters. Like, I spent a lot of time going through all those. I ended up with that filter at the end. And after that, you can change the background, black and white. Everything that was not highlighted or selected, you can change it. You can just change all of the colors. Like that back fence was blue, and so you can take all the blue out and just make it like a really bright white. Then after that, you can go up to there and you click that orange, and you have to make sure it goes to the little boxes, otherwise it won't look right. And that's how you get the little blur in the corners, and you can just do that wherever you want on it. Once you get that, get your picture. Get your picture in. I just did dust, as simple as that. You can just rotate it, put it where you like. And then you go up to normal and click screen. And it will do that for you. And then after all that, to get your color, you go up to hue saturation, and then you can just play with the colors. I just put colorize, and it matched all the colors and made it orange. And I'll show you that. And that last one, each one of those screen recordings took me about a minute. Some took me 2 days, some took me 1 day, some took me half a day. I could do 2 in 1 day. But it just, going in, having not really any knowledge of how to do it, you had to watch a lot of tutorials and fun stuff like that. And then the mastery of technology use. So the tutorials I found were probably the thing that helped me the most, just because they're really simple and they, just tell you what you need to know. And the tools I used were just the hue saturation, just dropping pictures and different layers, different stuff like that, just matching colors. I found out on the first picture I didn't know how to match colors, so I was trying to match everything by going across. And on the second ones, you could match it, and it was just so much easier, and I found out I saved like an hour of work. And then my project plan is right here. I think I stuck to it pretty well. I mean, with Photoshop, you just need to kind of just play around on it to learn it the best. And that's kind of what I did for probably the first week, just on that first picture. Just messed around with it, just stuff like that. And then I could always use more time just because more time is always nice. And I showed you my project results. And what did I learn? I definitely think that I learned how to use Photoshop at a much better level, just because, going in, did not really know at all what I was doing. And then my best moment was my last picture and seeing and finally being done, and finally just seeing it all finally come together. My weakest moment was learning how to do it, because some of them are really bad. When I first started and just playing around, I had no idea what the tools were. Like, there's different shortcuts on your keyboard that you learned about as you went along. What I would change is probably try like a different type, like try something in brushes, maybe something like that. And that is my project.
Okay. Thank you very much. You guys got some questions? Okay. You guys are really lousy clappers, but except for Trace. Trace was much better. Cal? Yes, Cal. Trace gets points for that. You're more enthusiastic. I think it's the donuts. What are you looking for, baby?
It's cord that we plug it in. Oh, I'm blind.
I can move my coffee. I just left it set up there.
So in the first book, presentation is Photoshop.
You got a lot of Photoshop.
Bailey, I did Photoshop, Brendan Photoshop.
I just want you to know that if you aren't enthusiastic clappers, that Cal will probably attack you with that object in there for you, just so you'll
This
know.
one won't hurt, I don't think. It's pretty, not painful.
No, it's not. Well, I could bring one from the back that's far more painful. I've got a walking stick in
You
the
want to
back.
test it? I can try on you.
That is
Okay.
PVC.
Okay, you ready, hon?
Yep.
Okay.
So my first project was taking this old clock, this is the back of the clock, and making it work again. This clock has been broken for about 30-some plus years. It's my grandfather's. And so I wanted to make it work again, but of course, the gears and stuff wouldn't work. So my plan was to take this all out and replace it with the back of a new clock, which I thought was going to be really hard and really confused because there's two different parts and they wouldn't work. It actually turned out pretty easy. The back of this back you see here is a fake back. This isn't real, but there's a piece behind it which is just the regular clock back. It's only like yay big. And I thought it was going to be hard to, my main problem when I first thought of this is the hands wouldn't fit in and stuff. But then once I got it all and I got it set and everything, the hands actually was way easier than I was expecting them to be. But the only problem was the hands didn't all the way fit into the new clock back. So I had to take the hands that originally came with the new clock and break them and hot glue the old clock pieces to the new clock pieces and then stick them in That was the only way it was going to work, and to make it still look like the original clock. And it takes time.
I was just actually checking it. It does.
It's still keeping its time, and it's been doing that for about a couple weeks. At first, I had a little problem with that because for some reason it would fall back, and so it is duct taped. The back of it is duct taped in right now, but I will put Velcro over it to make sure it stays in. But that's that, and I'll show you my video.
It's going to take forever to launch because it's in air.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the new MacBooks. Have you seen the new ones? They look a lot like a cross between an Air and a MacBook Pro. They have one Thunderbolt port, no USBs, nothing.
Really?
You have to use an adapter to connect to everything. It's got one little adapter that comes out of it. And you can buy, they come in on like 4 different colors, the same colors as your iPhone comes in. Ooh, I'm not sure if I like it or not. It does have a solid state drive, which makes it, it's probably what they're trying to push for college students, I would guess. Find it? Let's see it. Yay.
I get play. Oh, wait. This whole clock, this clock was on the box that had like all the wheels and stuff that made it turn, and it was my grandfather's, and it stopped working a while back. So my plan was to take all of this out and then put a new modern day clock in there, and kind of show you how I did it. So the clock works now, and how I did this was quite simple. The back is actually a fake back. You have to unscrew these bolts here, here, and here to get to the real clock back. Once you get the screws out, this part comes straight out, and this part is just fake. It just looks real. There's nothing that works with it. Not all the parts I created to fit back in this little thing, so up there. But what the clock actually looks like, and this is the actual clock. Only get Velcro. This we Velcroed in, not duct tape, but I didn't get Velcro, so it's just taped in. That's just the back of a regular clock. How I did it was I just bought a cheap clock. I took the back out, and then what I had to do with the hands is to do the hands was a little tricky because the hands didn't exactly fit. This clock actually the little hand fit into place where it's supposed to, but the big hand didn't fit with this. So what I did was I took the back of the big hand from the new clock and cock glued it to the back of the old clock, the old clock hand, so it would fit in. And the new clock had this little piece here that the old clock didn't, so there is a little bit of difference. But it's not, you can't really tell. Maybe if you look at it a tad, but yeah, this is actually supposed to be the second hand, but since this clock didn't have a second hand, I kind of cut it off because that piece still needed to be in there to make the clock work itself. But yeah, that's all this. It works, it ticks, and it still looks like the old clock.
You guys see the 2 holes in the front near the 8 and the 4? You guys know what those are for? That's one, yeah, that once upon a time when that clock was operational, it had a key and you wound it once a week.
I still have both of those pieces.
And one of them helped regulate the pendulum in the back, which kept time, and the other one was just to help power up the gear set.
And so since I got this project done so fast, I did another one, which I didn't get all the way completed because it turned out to be way tougher than I thought it was going to be. I'm making a staff for a superhero called Stargirl. Let me find the picture. And this, you can kind of see her staff. So this was the beginning of it. And my plan is to get this to light up, which that's what I was having my difficulties with, because I spent about half my week working on this and that half the week looking up lights to figure out how in the world am I going to get this to light up. My plan right now is to put lights on the inside where all these cracks are, and then first I'm going to shape it to the round side it's supposed to be, and then I'm going to put lights on the inside here, and I'm going to use a material put over it to give it a nice hardened shape and put lights and then cover the lights when
Use Bondo, don't you?
yeah, Bondo. And then I'm going to put Bondo, and then I'm going to cover the lights with tape when I do it, and then uncover them, and hopefully that should still make it look glowy and not tell their lights. Hopefully. So that was my second project.
Very good. So are you going to competition this summer sometime for Israel Comic Con?
Yeah, there's one in 6 weeks. I'm going as Captain America for that. And then probably once this costume is done, I'll compete in.
Good, good deal. Okay, the Josh. The Josh. Your mom is probably happy to
Yeah,
get that clock.
she was watching us right now, she said.
I'll just go.
Here we go.
All right.
Good description.
My project is Ultimate Photoshop. Basically, I wanted to step over the boundary line of beginner Photoshop and start working to the more advanced stuff. And I just wanted to see what I could do in there. And it's mostly photo manipulation, color gradients, and photo manipulation is like tricking your eyes to see a different image or making it look different from what it is. And the sad thing is I have lost my Photoshop file. Everything is in pieces, but I do have screenshots of all my work, so I will still have that. So starting out, these are the tutorials I used. A lot of these tutorials are really good because for example, if you watch a tutorial that says how to make this square box, how to draw a square box. Now all you know is how to draw that square box, but there are other tutorials that are really good. It shows you how you can change it, how you can make multiple ones different ways. And that's what a lot of these tutorials did by Cha-Cha Click. He showed you how you can do the things in many different ways and change the way it would look. So starting out, I wanted to make an energy ball type thing, and it started from here, and then it simply went to there, and then to there. I wanted to test the limits of Photoshop and how many layers you can do and how many times you can copy layers to get a different image. And these are two group folders of all those layers together with an ellipse circle, and that's what I got. And what I was doing was practicing this. Here's an image of me here, and then that. With after the ellipse and the spheres was all feathered and colorized. That's what you get, and I added a color gradient to reflect on my face. Okay.
So you could do something like that for your ID next year or something if you wanted to. That'd be
So
cool.
back to my goal. So after I got that, I got understanding of what I could do with Photoshop if I tested the limits. My goals were to understand Photoshop more than ever after that. Lighting with the green screen, manipulating photos to make a new final image with overlays, different colorizations. So I wanted to practice more, so practice progression and brushes. Brushes are really fun to work with, but the thing with you want, if you don't want Command Z because you make two, you're not gonna be able to go back and fix it, and you have to delete the whole layer, and it was so annoying. So
Josh, if you push Apple Command Z, if you push Apple with it, then you can go back.
really?
Yeah.
So it takes you to the history.
I just learned something new. So I wanted to practice with brushes. So here's an image that I used from Google. And to practice with brushes, I just wanted to change it. And I'll show you the progression, but I literally went from that original image to that, with brushes and colors. And what I did is, where are these screenshots? I just kept adding more brushes and layers and colors and just messed around with it until I got that. So that was really fun to do. That only took half a week, and I had a lot of fun, and I actually started to enjoy Photoshop for what it was, and I can see why people liked it so much. So then, elements to final. I knew how to use color gradients. I had an understanding on how to remove green screens or cut people out of an image, and I knew how to recolor position. Now, thanks to Trace, all the final image of progression and changes. Trace took a really nice photo for me that I wanted to use. The only problem is there were so many shadows of this green screen to where I couldn't just color or chroma key it to where it would just remove all greens. So I had to do something that took me a very, very tedious long time. That got me very angry, and that was cut out myself of the green by the quick selection tool and deleting, and that took a while, but I learned a technique to make it really easy, and so that if I was to screw up, I would be able to. So I don't know if you can see it very easily, but there is a little selection right here. So what I did was I can only make changes within this sphere. So if I was to accidentally mess up and go down here, it wouldn't let me, it wouldn't do it. So this would keep me from making a mistake. And that's what really helped me get the final cutout image. And yeah, so that was all. I was pretty proud of it that I cut that out. It took a very long time. So now I was able to work on the final image. So I wanted to put everything together. So I dropped myself on a New York City picture, not a lot of people on there, with that same energy ball that I created from the week 1. Added a hole in the building with fire. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see in the background, but that's a completely different piece of building that I added in the back because it was missing a part. I don't know, I thought that was really cool to add. And then this was the final image with everything, with the layer in the bottom and the flames and the sparks and the brushes on my body and my torso, my arms. And I was pretty happy with this final image. So all 3 final images was this one, that one.
So what happened to your Photoshop file?
I think I moved it around so many times, and all my images got moved from into this folder that it can't find it.
So is this a JPEG that you exported out?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say something you could put in your portfolio.
Yeah, so I do have everything.
Okay.
Finally exported and everything. But yeah, so thoughts and reflection. Final thoughts on how the project came out. This is my project plan. Second week was what took forever because that's when I was really learning how to cut out stuff, and I kept trying multiple ways of cutting out myself out of the green screen, and I was able to get it done. Other than that, I stayed with my project plan a lot, and I learned a lot. I learned that if you understand the tools that you're using, understand what their limits are and how you can use them, you'll master them. It'll become your own. And so I was really happy with how this came out. I know a lot about Photoshop that I can use in the future for future careers, and it helps me clear my head of what I want to do
Or not do.
or not do in the future. And that's my project.
Okay. Very good.